Hey, Jeff, Nick from NBC. Thanks for doing this tonight on here. I guess, different positions, different styles for each guy, but is there a through line, like characteristically, intangible wise, that you guys wanted to bring to this class in a big way to add to your roster?
Yeah, appreciate you joining, Nick. I know it's a little late, so thank you and thanks for the question. Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, we're still in the building phases, and in order to continue to get to where we truly want to go, it starts with competitors. And you see with the two guys that we drafted tonight, with Sion and Ryan. Those guys have both, they're mature. They've been in college for some time, but the thing that they bring the most is competitiveness and of course their IQ and things like that. But again, just with where we are, we wanted to make that a priority.
Rod?
Jeff, last night you mentioned you hope that guys wouldn't jump in front of you, I guess, teams wise. So when you have these trades happening with both teams in front of you, what's going through your mind, I guess, at that point?
Just again, I think I'll give credit to our group in terms of getting information. I felt pretty good that they weren't going to jump us to take the guys that we wanted. So at that point, it really didn't phase us. So yeah.
And then you mentioned also last night that you wanted to probably roster all four rookies. Can you explain just that, I guess, thought process and how it's going to help you kind of build your roster moving forward here with these four guys that you just picked up?
Yeah, fortunately, we're not in the position to that we were in, have a roster crunch or anything like that. So we can roster our four. And again, as I said, I think right now it's about developing these guys. So we can afford for them to be on the roster. And look, there's going to be some nights they play and some nights, maybe they're not, or some nights they're with Greensboro. So we just have kind of the flexibility there. But again, I think it's important to continue to get guys in here and give them a chance to develop.
James?
Hey Jeff, just reflecting on the draft as a whole, if I told you 48 hours ago, this was your haul, what would you say at the time?
Hey James, we're very pleased, very pleased. All four of these guys, we're thrilled with. They fit our characteristics, as Nick stated early on, different styles of play. But the tangibles and the intangibles and the characteristics that we want to be about and Hornets DNA and what we pride ourselves in. All four of these guys have it. So again, excited to see them to continue to work and grow and develop.
Was there any guy you were particularly kind of surprised was available when that pick came on the clock?
Yeah, I think going back to yesterday, we didn't expect Liam to be there. We had him pretty high in our rankings before the draft even started. So we thought he would be gone. But again, because of the trade that we did, we were of course able to get another pick in the first round, and again, fortunate that he was there.
Jared?
Jeff, how you doing? Th This was, I guess, one of the first drafts that we saw like so many massive trades over like the last half decade where there's so many picks going so many places and we saw so much consolidation in this draft. I'm just curious as a GM that's operating in the space, talking deals with so many teams, hearing about so many deals, how different did it seem like it was this year where you had so much consolidation and so many picks kind of flying around?
Yeah, hey Jared. I think it was one of those things where, a lot of teams controlled picks. So it's hard kind of to my earlier, the question I got asked earlier about roster spots. You can't have that many rookies, on the roster at a time. You want to kind of stagger it up, just looking forward in terms of who you're gonna have to pay at what time, things like that. So just being strategic, looking out, outwards. So I think that's the reason you're going to see some movement. There's also, teams are already planning for free agency and things like that. So again, I just think ultimately think teams are being smarter and trying to be more strategic and forward thinking with it all.
Sorry about that. Sam Farber, go ahead.
That's on the draft here overall for the two picks you made tonight, Ryan and Sion individually. What do you like about them? What do they potentially bring here to the Hornets that made them guys you wanted to draft today?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, I can start with Ryan again, a little bit of an older player compared to who we've drafted yesterday. Ryan again, I'll start with his competitiveness and the intangibles. But four-time Defense Player of the Year in the Big East, which I believe that may be the first time that's been done since maybe Patrick Ewing, something like that. But just his presence around the rim, of course, rim protection. He can shoot a little bit. Again, he's smart, competes. So those are some things that we, our scouting group and analytics team have identified in Ryan. So we're really, really excited to have him. And he also comes from a great program. Coach McDermott does a great job with those guys and teaches them the game, just the fundamentals. So again, excited to have him with us. And then Sion, again, a little bit different path, doing a few years at Tulane, and then coming over to Duke after. But again, another mature young man, just really really intrigued with his versatility on both ends of the court. He can play multiple positions on the offensive end. He's a connector. He knows the game. Instincts are really really good, and then defensively he can guard multiple positions. So. I think, obviously if you're a fan of the NBA and you see some of these matchups and guys being able to slide up and down the lineups in terms of guarding, we feel like Sion can give us that.
Matt?
Hey, Jeff, I know you obviously look to maximize value with every asset that you have, but did the NBA Finals that showcased a number of second round picks as high level contributors change the way that you utilized your second rounders in this draft?
Yeah, it's a great question, Matt. Like, of course, we're always going to try to be strategic in terms of maximizing our assets. At the same time, we still got to put a team together, right? You still got to have some players on the roster, and hopefully their assets, right? If they continue to get better and stuff. But yeah, I remind our scouting group all the time. There's good players all over. That get picked late in the first round or late in the second round or undrafted. So. I urged our guys, like, yes, it's awesome to maximize value. At the same time, if we have conviction in a guy, we should take him, and then we'll figure out how to manufacture assets later down the road.
James?
Jeff, bringing in four rookies onto the teams just got a lot younger. Do you think there's need here to balance out with some veterans through free agency?
Yeah, it's a good question, James. It's something that we're going to discuss. Charles and I will get together and try to go through that and see what that may look like. Can't say enough last year about Seth Curry and Taj and their contributions in that vein. So yeah, we're balancing that out as well.
Rod?
Jeff, just this period, next couple of days to your free agency, can you explain just the importance of it for you? And I guess just how do you try to go about making your roster? And do you expect to be, I'm going to say someone active, but do you expect to make any, I guess, moves to kind of help you guys improve that maybe could be on the periphery, I guess?
Yeah, look, I think again, we're always going to look to improve the team when we can, when it makes sense for us. As I've told you guys, like we're not going to do anything though to skip steps and go out and pay a huge free agent or anything like that. Just again, we're given where we are in our life cycle, so we'll continue to be strategic and find someone who fits that can help us continue to move forward.
And then to pick up on that, can you explain just when you see teams like Orlando in your division making moves, the Hawks making moves, how does that, like, I guess, make you not want to go out there and jump, I guess, a step, as you said, if at all?
Yeah, look, I respect Orlando and Atlanta and what they're doing. At the end of the day, though, we got to worry about the Charlotte Hornets and what's best for us. So again, from the onset of me interviewing for this job, right, just being aligned with ownership and Charles Lee, of course, in terms of we're not going to skip steps. The goal, right, is to have a sustainable contender. I've said it before, just no interest in getting to the playoffs one year or the play-in one year and then we're back out. And so in order to do that, right, we got to lay the foundation and continue to be disciplined and see what we got and continue to move forward from that standpoint.